Good morning, everybody. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. This is Kerry E. Porter coming to you from Cedar Grove High School, Cedar Grove, New Jersey, Coachburg Field. We are here today with none other than Rob Gogerty, where we have been able to talk off camera, get to know each other a little bit, but we're also going to be talking to him about his program and what he's been able to accomplish in 7 short years that as a head coach here at Cedar Grove High School. He is also an alumnus of Cedar Grove. He was a standout quarterback back in 2001. So we want to make sure that we have an ability to make sure that he has an opportunity to introduce himself to the program and his program to the masses here at KSPORT. And welcome to the Coach's Corner here, Coach. And thank you very much for taking the time out for your busy schedule. I know you're preparing for a game later this week.
Thanks, Kerry. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, sir. What I wanted to know, first and foremost, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm a 2001 alumni of Cedar Grove High School. Kind of been here most of my life. Was a 3-sport athlete here. Went on to play Division I basketball at UMBC from 2001 to 2005, and then kind of came right back. Was on our football staff here with Coach Ed Sadlock, a legendary coach here. Was head coach for 25 years. I was on his staff for about 8 years. I was also the head basketball coach for Cedar Grove from about 2010 to 2014. Had some success with Joe Slattery and Paul Rufo and David Njoku, who now plays for the Cleveland Browns. I took over the athletic director position here in Cedar Grove, kind of around 2014. So I was on a 2-year kind of hiatus away from coaching.
Right.
And then I missed it. I came back. I became the head football coach in 2016, and I'm going into my 9th year here now.
All right. So, Coach, for some of us who are not familiar with UMBC, can you tell us exactly what that meant?
It's University of Maryland, Baltimore County. They're in the American East. They probably became a little bit more famous after I graduated because they upset Virginia, if you remember, as the first 16 seed to kind of beat the number 1 seed in the NCAA basketball tournament.
All right.
So it kind of became on the map there, and stuff like that.
So basically, University of Maryland, Baltimore, how does that transition into your current career now? How did that help you elevate into where you are today?
Yeah, I think I kind of took my whole life as like the underdog story. I was a little undersized. I wasn't the fastest kid in the world. I wasn't the strongest kid in the world. I think I used my smarts a little bit. Super competitive. To play at a high level of college basketball. I played at Ohio State. I played at Miami. We played at Rutgers, at Villanova, schools like that. Just on that competitive level, you learn to compete at the upper echelon of sports, and I kind of take that into my coaching. I want my teams and our players here to just kind of play hard and compete and kind of have fun with it.
Well, you mentioned that you were with Ed Sadlock, who was the legendary coach for 25 years. He actually was able to bring in several championships at the small school level from Division Group 1 and Group 2 levels. I don't think you guys have even gone higher than Group 3 at any point. Do you see yourself in that same conversation going forward now that you're in your 9th year?
No, I can't compare myself to those guys. Ed's one of my mentors. I talk to him at least once a week, and what he's built as a high school football coach in 50 years is, very, very hard to kind of replicate, to coach that long, to kind of be involved. He taught me how to be organized and how to run a program. And I learned, just so much from him and his staff. I took to my basketball programs, and now here, some of the stuff he did at Cedar Grove for 25 years, just vocab-wise and stuff like that, we still use here.
Well, actually, with pride and excellence being a key phrase here at Cedar Grove, the Panthers have been none other than challenged by some top schools around the county. Essex County football, high school football, is one of the best, if not the best, in the state when it comes to high quality players. going in as making it as far as the NFL, like Njoku did, Jabril Peppers, Rasul Douglas, and all those guys during that period of time, including Minka Fitzpatrick from St. Peter's. How does that transcribe to your program, seeing that you have high school alumnus in the NFL and in the NBA and pro sports?
It's just awesome, David's he's a pupil of mine, and I coached him here, and he's just one of many who've went on to kind of play Division I athletics.
Right.
We've had football, basketball, baseball players kind of come through here. It's a small school, and they play 2 or 3 sports.
Right.
And our school here, Cedar Grove, succeeds on that multi-sport athlete, that hard-nosed, athlete who wants to play and compete in multiple sports and things like that. To kind of sky's the limit. I think we're fortunate enough, conference-wise, schedule-wise, we play such a diverse schedule, from the Verona and the Glen Ridges to the Weequakes and Shabazz to North Central. We kind of play them all, and we kind of tip our hat to that. I think our schedule makes us better towards the end of the year and towards the end of the season, and over I know over my 10, 12 years here, we've really built a lot of rivalries just outside of that. Cedar Grove Verona rivalry. I know the rivalries with Weequake and Shabazz, go on and on. We don't sneak up on anyone,
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I'm not sure when you were in high school. I remember in my high school years, Verona and Cedar Grove used to be battles. It would be the talk of the Bloomfield Avenue corridor, and then you got Glen Ridge and I think Montclair Kimberly were going, or Montclair Immaculate were going at it, at those times. Yeah. So, and then, of course, us, East Orange is always in the thick of things. So we was always in the middle of everything at that point in time. So, Coach, let's talk about your scheduling. Well, we're going to talk about a little bit more than that, your scheduling. We're just going to, you mentioned Shabazz, you mentioned Wake. Let's go back about couple years, starting when you first started, they first had you as a head coach in 2019. You guys, won 8-4 and lost to Booton in the championships there. In 2020, you were 7-1, and you went to the North Jersey North Group 1 regionals and won that 13-12. And then you went to the finals in 22 against Weequake and lost that 21-10. So with that being said, you were. And then on top of that, you ran the tables last year, 23-24, 8-2, ran the tables and lost in the quarters to Shabazz. How does that feel to have that kind of elevation? You ran the tables against Shabazz and Weequake last year, and then this year you're looking to do it again. How did that happen?
I think it's the preparation. I think it's the competitive. I think it's where we are as a program. I tell these kids here and the players here, I think the world of them. And that's why we go out and schedule these games and play these games. Back in 2021, we traveled to Florida with that 12-1 team. Back in 2019 and 20, we were just starting to turn that corner. We were 8-4, and then we were 8-0 and 7-1 during that COVID year.
Yeah.
And then we turned that corner, and we're going down to showcases like Battle of the Beach. We played Ramsey in the Super Football Conference showcase last year. It's what I think of the players here. It's kind of what I think of, showcasing them and putting them in these situations and in these tough games to kind of showcase
high level
what they do here. Yep. And it's
high
almost,
level.
Kudos to our players and staff here.
Do you think that exposure to teams from other areas, including in-state and out-of-state, helps them get to that point where they're ready to say, oh, I want to play at that next level, whether it's a D3, D2, or an elite D1 school?
Without a doubt, I think that's the point of it. I think it's traveling just like a college team would travel. It's playing different teams from different areas, from different diverse places. Whether it's Florida, whether it's down south, we're playing a Shalleck team who, before I scheduled the game, I really never even heard of the school. And then you start to look at it and you see, wow, they got some players. They were 11-1 last year. So you kind of just learn and you kind of put them in front of it, and it just kind of makes them stronger to be in those adverse kind of situations.
Yeah, Shalleck was 11-1. They made it to the South Regionals and got knocked out. let's talk about that. The Battle of the Beach this year. This you have that first game at 9:00, 9:30 on August 30th, which is Friday morning. That's the first game of that day, which is a loaded schedule for the Battle of the Beach. You precede, actually you postseed the IMG Bergen Catholic game on Thursday night. Prior to your game the next morning. What is it about that Battle of the Beach showcase? What is it about that where schools from all over the state were trying to get into that?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of showcasing your program and talent and playing against some of the better Group 1 teams in the state and things like that. We went down there 2 years ago, played Salem. Didn't go so well. We played a 1 o'clock game. I don't think we were totally kind of prepared for it. We're kind of, we've kind of adjusted some things. I kind of talked about, running more of a college type of atmosphere. We're heading down there Wednesday afternoon. This year, we're going to stay over 2 nights. We're going to practice down there. We're going to try to get acclimated a little bit. So it's kind of more of a football trip where we're, going to wake up Friday morning. We're already there. Yeah. And we're kind of ready to go. And I think we're going to be prepared. Shalleck's an 11-1 team. They kind of return a lot of players. And we're looking forward to a challenge.
Yeah, they're deep this year. They have a couple D1 commits down there as well. Do you think that Shalleck is going to be the first test of the season for you guys, or is it going to be your normal schedule?
Yeah, our first goal is always to win the first game. That we have about four team goals. The first one always is that first game's huge. Going back to that 2019 season, we're starting to turn that corner. We won the first game. It was a big win, and it kind of snowballs. So the first games are always huge. We're not looking past anyone.
Right.
I know we have week 1, and then Verona week 2.
Right.
So right out of the gates,
you're being challenged, right?
Yeah, we're going to be challenged. We're in big rivalry games. But the main focus has been this summer has been Shalleck and has been game 1.
Oh, game is week 0. Yes.
Yep. Got down there.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, week weight. You got week weight coming in. You got Verona coming in. You got the 2 of the biggest coaches in the county coming through. One with the big, and both of them have very big personalities. What is it about Verona's program that is kind of saying, okay, they're about to turn the corner and we got to really pay attention?
You don't have to talk to me about Verona. I'm from here. Right?
Yeah,
so I was born in the Verona-Cedar Grove rivalry. Played in a ton between football, basketball, baseball. I played in a ton of Verona games. You don't have to get me up for that Verona game. It's kind of one of the things, and I think our guys here still know that. I have a lot of coaches on my staff are former players here, so that they know the Verona-Cedar Grove rivalry. It's always a big game, I think, for both schools. No matter who's up and down, it kind of seems to level the playing field.
Right. I get it. I get it.
What I'm saying? I get it. So you got to come to play. You got to be on your best.
And week of all places, they got some big time kids coming in as well. Yeah. So with that being said, how do you match up against a team like that? That can actually play on any level at any point.
And Weequake's had our number in the past few years. We lost in 2022 in the sectional final to them. Didn't play them last year, but I think it's kind of we've built these rivalries. Weequake comes here and they're going to give us their best.
Right, they're going to be throwing the kitchen sink and everything.
Brian's been there for a long time. He's won a ton of games. He's won a ton of state championships. He runs a top quality program, so it's just another, it's another notch of our schedule to get us ready for the long-term goal.
Right, and then as we look down to your once we get past Verona, you're going on the road for the first time since the Battle of the Beach, and you're going out to Madison, which is another state contender.
School,
the state contender, and they are always in the thick of things, right? Whether they're battling Verona or somebody like that from the Essex County area. How do you match up against a squad like that?
Yeah, you know what? We just got to prepare like we always do. I think when we you kind of look out of our schedule, we have about 4 or 5 Group 2, Group 3, Group 4 schools between Madison, Caldwell, North Central now.
Right.
So we're going to be giving up some size wise, but you know what? We've been like that for a long time here. You know, we have really tough kids, tough players who, you know, kind of bring their lunch pail to work and kind of get.
Well, you got lunch pails kids, yeah. So
get going. Yep.
get going. And then you finally, follow that with Newark Collegiate and Caldwell. Newark Collegiate is kind of being on a surging program where they're still building. Do you think that they're a team to watch? When you're literally, if you're taking yourself out of the equation, is there an opportunity for them to really be a team to watch in the whole?
You could ask my wife. I'm not going to take anyone lightly. We prepare the same way. I'm preparing the same way. Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays to kind of get ready to go. They a team like Newark Collegiate is going to come in here, and they have great athletes. They have great team speed. You got to be prepared. I don't think our team really takes anyone lightly. We got to prepare the same way each and every game. We don't want to play down or play up to kind of anyone's level.
So now you got the Mignon brothers coming. You got to go out to the Mignon brothers. Out in Caldwell, and going up the way up on Boulevard Avenue. The following week on October 4th at 7. That's a Friday night game under the lights. That's going to be a big battle. You got your top tier quarterback here. I think that's Paradiso. Yeah, he's coming from a long line of quarterbacks as well. Let's talk about that. How do you match up against the Mignons versus Paradiso?
Yeah, we've we've beat them a few years in a row going back, and now they've gotten us a few years in a row. So it's kind of it's always a big game. It's a town. It's a two close towns who kind of grow up playing each other. So a lot of our players know a lot of their players. A lot of their players know our players.
Right.
Stuff like that. And they return the Mignon brothers. And their coaching staff is one of the best in the county.
Yes.
Kind of going there. It's just
another, and they had their streak snapped last year.
Yeah.
So I know you guys are looking like, okay, maybe we can do something with that.
And it's just another game on our schedule we got to get up for.
And then you got Glenridge. Glenridge has a new coach coming in, and they're coming up to see you guys. And then followed by Newark Central, like you mentioned. And you're down in Newark for that game. Coach. I can't think of him right
Mark
now.
Ingram, yeah.
Mike, Coach Mark, yeah. Coach Ingram, he's a former player of Alterique Whites, and then also he actually went on to becoming coach at Central, and you got one of the Camaro brothers there as well. So how does that look when you have such top tier talent coming out of that school?
Mark's a great friend of mine. I was fortunate enough to coach with Mark in 2 North-South games. I've kind of became close with him. We text each other, and he does a phenomenal job down there. He's that Central program's just up there, with Shabazz and Weequick now in Newark. He's going to try to go toe-to-toe with them. He's doing a great job there. And kind of when I saw them on our schedule, I'm like, here we go again. We got another one. We might have lost Shabazz, but
you got
but
Central.
Now we got Central coming in, and they have a few players with Division I offers and things like that. And to put it on top, we got to go down there and play them.
Yeah, and
so
then
it's just going to be another tough game for us.
And then you got Booton at the final out on the road. So you got 2 games on the road towards the end of the season. Booton has always been one of those notorious teams that like to play spoiler, even if you're in playoff contention. Do you think that they were, barring that they have a good season as well, do you think that you have to really over prepare for them because the way they like to play?
Yeah, I think Booton's got a new coach, so it's going to I'm sure their system's going to be very much the same. Fortunate enough, in 2019, Booton beat us in the sectional final.
Right.
So we still have that
that taste
on our back. Saying this is Booton. Remember that. I know we've kind of been the past few years in a row, but you kind of keep that in the back of your head. It's a game that
that's
our
motivation,
kids and our
right?
coaches kind of always.
Always look forward to it.
Look forward to, yeah.
That's almost like your Turkey Day game.
With it.
So with that being said, Coach, I mentioned Paradiso already. Who outside of Paradiso, who is the ones that we can actually look forward to watching over the season?
Yeah, Steven's a 3-year starter now coming back. Jackson Maurice is a 2 or 3 year starters. You know, going to play a huge role this year. Guys like Nick Russo out wide, Anthony Chironio and Connor Kearney are going to kind of rush the ball for us a lot this year as seniors. You know, and then we're going to mix in a big junior class who's had a lot of success, kind of on that JV level. Guys like Mike Canarelli and Thomas Canataro playing linebackers and H-backs and tight end positions. We have 2 returning linemen coming back, Santino Catalano and Jake Jordan. So it's a nice mixture of, you know, some guys who've got some 2 or 3 years experience mixed in with guys who are kind of ready to go and now have turned themselves into varsity players.
Who is the youngest guy that's making their first start on the varsity level?
You know, we have sophomore Jake Catanzarite's going to be playing a lot of reps on defense. Pierce Asphalt has a great camp. I know he's a junior. He's kind of been a backup quarterback for us, but has really won a spot on defense. Been flying around, and I'm really looking forward to him. You know, kind of getting out there and out of that backup quarterback role and becoming a football player. Getting some solid looks at that as well.
I mean, so you got a sophomore coming in to making the start. You got a junior looking to be a leader as well, and then possibly take over when Paradiso leaves.
That's the beauty of coaching, right?
Yeah, you have
as much as you miss those guys kind of when they graduate. I've always said that the aspect of coaching is to build that new team,
right? And that next guy up, you know, getting them ready for that next level. So with that being said, you have a bunch of kids. I mean, you're almost even with the seniors and juniors per se, but you're pretty much a veteran squad. How does that transition into a new school year, a new season, as well as what you are already based upon what you are building from the previous year?
The best is it helps in the preseason. You know, our summer and preseason camp move a lot quicker and don't have to spend as much time on basic installs and things like that. We were fortunate enough with a 3-year starter to come back at quarterback who knows the offense kind of inside and out. We could start to game plan more than install kind of early on, and that helps with the returning players. And when you start to play and they're in your program for 2 and 3 years, it just helps the preseason move so much quicker and smoothly. You know, with now, you know, we really have 2 full weeks of practice and we're in game week.
And you're in game week, but you're in game mode you're practicing as if you're in game mode. Coach, one thing that we pride ourselves as being not only just at the high school level, we pride ourselves looking at the youth level as well. How is your feeder program coming?
Awesome. I'm very, very happy with it. You know, especially the past few years, it's ramped up. Our numbers are up. We're building a more cohesive unit. We've had some coaches clinics between our coaches and their coaches. They've installed a lot of our vocabulary, our formations. They're really doing a nice job.
And then they're also using a little bit of your plays as well.
And it's starting to become a nice feeder system to our program.
So they already know what you're looking for when you're coming.
Yeah, to kind of run some camps. They've kind of practiced with us a little bit. You know, they've seen our pace of practice and things like that. It's been a really nice,
And they participate. They're not necessarily Pop Warner, but they're participating in a Suburban Access League.
Yes. Yep. And it's it's with a lot of teams where it's the Verona, it's the Belleville, it's the Caldwell, it's the Fairfield, the West Essex, so
right.
A lot of the Essex County realm.
Teams that don't really play on that next L level where you got East Orange and Newark traveling down to Florida every year. Okay, but at the same token, you're still getting that quality player.
Become familiar with the teams and the kids. The kids.
Quality players. Let me ask you this question: with all the kids that coming through the programs, and including yourself, how does it feel to be a lifelong Panther, but also a member of an elite group of legends?
Yeah, you know what I think of the world of this place. It's probably why I haven't left. I'm raising my family here now, and my kids are going through the school systems and the athletic programs and things like that. And you look at my staff. 80% of my staff are Panthers.
Right.
They've either played or coached here for for quite some time, and
Right.
they know, and they know our community, and it's tight knit, hard nosed, and that's what we want to keep developing here.
Yeah, you guys about three or 4 square miles at best, but
Everyone knows everyone.
everybody knows everyone. And then at the same time, you are, when we mentioned lunch pail, you guys are truly lunch pail type of community.
And that's what my staff tries to, keep that going. I think that's built the success back with Coach Sallock and that mentality of the hard-nosed lunch pail type of players. And we've, as a staff, tried to keep that mentality and keep that work ethic going.
Okay, Coach. Well, with that being said, I'm going to actually say thank you for stopping by. I know you got to finish your reps here with your players who are doing defense and special teams, and getting ready for your Friday morning game at week 0. And I would like to say good luck in the Battle of the Beach this year, and as well as good luck in the rest of your season. Now we know that we always have a saying that we will pop up anywhere, anytime, any place.
I hope so.
So you will catch us at one of your games at one way or another. So in doing so, Coach, thank you very much for taking the time out.
Really appreciate it, Kerry. I had a blast.
Thank you very much, sir. And this is the Coach's Corner, Kerry E. Porter, your host and with the most. As we close out for this morning and wish the Panthers a good luck on their season, I'd like to say thanks. We will be probably popping up at another location to be hush hush. So we will be there soon today. And we'll be talking about something that's on the docket for the rest of for week 0 as well. And for those of you who watched the Essex County show, high school preview show that we were on this past Sunday, live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, we will be reposting that later this week. And for the rest of you guys, good luck. As we all say, let's have some fun. KSPORT, and we're out of here.